You got one life, for crying out loud. You might as well just give it all you got.
The Deej, Dan Jordan.
Your daily dose of reality. Your daily dose of the Deej.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I need my daily dose of the Deej.
I make the news. I don't watch the news. I'm a leader.
The Sales Energizer, Dan Jordan.
Listen, don't worry how to sell, baby. Worry about why people buy. And it's fun.
You don't need a 5-hour energy. All you need is the Sales Energizer.
Just when I think it's not going to be as fun as the one before, each one gets successfully better. What's the word I'm looking for? What's it going to take to get you into this car today, huh?
And now, please welcome the Sales Energizer, Dan Jordan.
Boom! That's exactly it.
Do that. Let's do that.
That's exactly it.
That's it. I think, each time there's a new favorite part of that I like. And I think I just like the word, eh? What's it going to take to get you into the scout today? Eh? It's the that I like.
It's that used car salesman, open shirt, open collar. What's it going to take?
That's it. All right. So what's it going to take you guys to come on over and unmute and come to Amazon? I know you're on all the different sites out there. We got a great guest today, an awesome guest, brings her own fans with her. Hey,
don't you bring a posse with you wherever you go, dude?
The perfect kind. That's the perfect kind. That was funny. I remember that when I was a stockbroker, and we used to, write pitches on what we were going to say, and then the pitches had a close at the bottom, and the actual real close was 3 letters, actually 1 letter, K. Like that was the close. Yeah. So why don't we go ahead and pick up 1,000 shares right now before your spouse gets home? K. You got to say K. And the K is what let them know that they were supposed to respond at that. If you didn't say K, there was silence.
Also known in baseball terms as a strikeout. Go Braves.
Yes.
So
in sales terms, known as a trial close.
We've got people in here already, as you can imagine. Tisha Hammond has many fans because when you are a small business cheerleader, you have teams that you choose to cheer for, and so we've got is it Misha Raymond here from Ann Arbor, Michigan? That's where I'm from as well, not Ann Arbor, but from the great state of Michigan.
Really?
The Mitten. That is correct. And Mary Wells, sorry, we went early. I think it said 12:05. But it's 12:05 now. So, and nobody wants to talk to us, right, Dan? They want to talk to our special guest star, including.
It's better to be 2 minutes early. It's better to be 2 minutes early or 20 minutes early than 2 minutes late. And so here we are, a little late. We're before the game. They can't hang with us, Mary Wells.
That's right. So if you're watching us over on LinkedIn, that's cool. You can camp out there. That's totally cool. But the party, as we know, and it looks like Mary Cathy is already there on Amazon chiming in. Thank you, Mary.
About time, Mary Cathy.
Make sure that you unmute, because over on Amazon there's this unmute thing that's in the middle, and that's where the party's at. That's where Mary P. Cathy is. Who loves Tisha? Who doesn't love Tisha? So Dan, why don't we introduce our guest? Let's get this thing rolling, because
that's it. Yeah, so here I am.
Wants to hear us talk the entire time.
That's right. So I am the sales energizer, but to sell something, you have to have a business. I'm a big fan that everybody's in business for themselves anyhow. And so lo and behold, I came across somebody who's actually more inspirational than I. And so I said, hey, we got to get this gal on the show. And here she is bringing all her fans. So without any further ado, please help me welcome to Dan Jordan Live, the one, the only, the great small business cheerleader, Tisha, baby, in the house. Look at this. How you doing?
Y'all.
She's waving them like she just don't care.
That's right.
How y'all doing?
That's actually real. She's always wanting to show off the guns. That's what it is.
I'm working on the guns.
That's how she roll. Yeah, we had plenty of time. Well, listen, you got to say hi to all your fans here. I mean, nobody's here to see the Deej.
My Lord, I see people racked up and stacked up in here. I see my queen, Precious L. Williams. I see you, Mish and Mary and Arian. I see Anthony. I see Misha. I cannot see everyone on all the platforms right now, but thank you all for being here and being a part of the conversation. So when they say unmute, head over onto the Amazon platform, the pitchman.live, and let's see what that means.
It's unmute. See that gal? See, she's not going on. So that's exactly right. So where'd you learn? My dad told me every once in a while, because with always business, he says, Danny, in this country, if you don't blow your own horn, there ain't no music. And so you just got to do it sometimes. So where did you learn to be such an inspirational type of addition to the business community?
Woo! I learned somewhere along the way that if you lead with serving others first, a lot of spotlight comes back to you in a good, positive way. And I learned that starting in my parents' home. I learned that when Mary Pollock and Bobby Pollock took me into their home when I wasn't their child. I learned it in New York City when Marilyn and Alfredo Lindo said, come and be a part of our family, and I wasn't their blood. I learned it through my church community. I learned it in college and many places along the way, that if you lead with serving others, you have community. And when you have community, you have a village, and people want to support one another.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes them feel a part. That's right. Yeah, the people say those who give the most get the most. Those who serve the most earn the most. And here's the thing, though. It's we still have to live. This is good. So a lot of times, and I do that. I say to myself, I have little mantras that I say to make sure I stay in the zone of giving mode, of serving mode. But very, very quickly, the slightest thing can happen. The wind blows from the east, and all of a sudden you think, oh, can I get this person as a customer? As soon as you change that mindset, as soon as you say, how do I get, you break you break the string. You have to start all over again. You're no longer in that kind of wave. So how do you stay there? How do you stay there all day instead of just in little spots?
I am nearly continually, it feels like, in community. I am networking. I'm having conversations with individuals. And when I look at someone, honestly, Dan and Chris, I don't look at them as a paycheck. I don't look at them as the transaction. I see them as the friend. I see them as the one who opens the door to their community to introduce me. And I see me opening the door to my community to introduce them. And if the two of us do business together, that's wonderful. I'm sure we can help and support each other. But I see their network as well. And I see, how can I help? Where can I serve? Is there a solution I can provide? And if you know of anyone who needs what I offer, please mention my name in that room full of opportunities. That has helped me come further along in business than just advertising.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's beautiful. And it's easier to say to someone who's experienced and has that to fall back on, because you've seen the everything in the past. Who's this is? Usama.
Usama. Do you know Usama?
No, but I love saying his name.
Oh my God. Say his name often and over again. This is a world-renowned
Usama Zed Bashir Salim.
Usama
Zed Bashir Salim. He should be a song.
Do you know
what Usama said? He said Bashir Salim.
He might be a song. Usama, will you tell the people where you're from in your next comment, please? Because Dan, you clearly have viewers watching from all over the world before me. Usama represents a very intriguing part of the world to me, and I'm so glad that he joined us here in conversation.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of this kind of new marketplace that we're in, Amazon and LinkedIn and all these places here. You get people from all over the world. And Chris Stone got me started with a podcast a year or so ago, and we're in 50, 60, 70 countries. Who knows? All over the place. I'm a big fan. We're in Kazakhstan. I'm a star in Kazakhstan. You could.
That's all right too.
But you're able to do this. So that's great. So it's easy to say to give. But what if you need to eat?
That's a reality every day. That's a reality every day. And you know what, Dan, it took me, so I've been in business going on 7 years. It took me a good 4 years before I realized, I don't want to dip into my personal funds anymore to run this company. I have got to tell people that I have solutions, that I have expertise, that I'm the brand authority on this particular thing and that particular thing, and that my time has to be valued. And so, can I give you like the one thing that actually turned me around and got me bringing in money so I could get something back in addition to what I give out?
Well, don't just give it to me, give it to my network.
All right, network, here we go. I was in conversation with Mimi Brown, and at that time in 2018, she was the director of a national speaking organization, the Michigan chapter. And she told me something I wish I would have learned several years earlier, because I started out wanting to be a world-renowned speaker and get speaking gigs that were going to make me a multimillionaire overnight. Didn't happen that way. She said, Tisha, next time you have a conversation with someone, and it's the second or third conversation, they know what you do, they're already warm to the discussion. If they come out and ask you what your fee is, say your price and shut up. Now, Dan and Chris, I'm a talker. So for years, I had been saying the fee and talking over it and getting people off track and giving them 8 other things to think about. She gave me that one piece of advice. The next morning, I am not exaggerating, the next morning I got a call from Chicago. I'm in Metro Detroit. I got a call from Chicago, a person I had spoken to a couple times before. She flat out asked me, well, what does it cost? I said my price, and I shut my mouth and I put the phone on mute so I couldn't talk. And she said, let's do it. And I kept that phone on mute, and I did a praise dance, a happy dance around my office. I got back on the phone like I was calm and controlled and had been used to this response. And we set up a time for us to do that thing. I quickly thanked her, hung up the phone, and I just praised God, because it had never happened that easily for me. I was the one in my way.
I tell you what, I just want to hug you right now. I mean, you're talking, Kristen, does she know who she's talking to here?
Listen, yeah, well, so like one of the greatest pieces of advice I'd gotten from this gentleman above me on the screen was, when you do give your price, there's only one thing you need to say after. It's, was this more or less than you were hoping for?
Oh, yeah. So what Chris is doing, and he's absolutely right. You want to, the challenge with what you're doing, and I think it's beautiful, but I just want to add to it a little quick story. I was at a little fair, and they were selling artwork at this fair, and I was looking at this booth, and I'm looking at this booth, and people were walking in, and he's had beautiful stuff. He made like wood carvings. It was gorgeous. And people were walking in, and how much? And he would tell them the price, and then they say, oh, nice. And then they walk away. And then someone else went, how much? I said, finally, I just couldn't stand it anymore. I said, buddy, listen, do you want to sell out today? He said, yeah. I said, listen, add 3 words to what you're saying. When they say how much, you give them the price and you say, how's that sound? And then it puts the balls in their court. And usually what they'll say is, well, it sounds about right, or a little higher, but now you got something to work with, and you're in the game. So the only challenge with that is, with some people that causes tension. How much does it cost? $500. Tension. He said, how much does it cost? $500. How's that sound? Put it on mute and walk away. Get ready to dance, baby.
I love it. And I can add that immediately.
Get ready to dance. And it works every time, and you don't lose any tension, and then you're in the game. But that's great. So what that speaker told you to do was how to close.
Yeah.
And you know what? When I do sales training, that's what I start with. People always say it's attention, interest, conviction, desire, and close. That's how you build a sales process. Turn it upside down. Start with the close. Hey, it's really nice talking to you. Just so now this is a sales call. This isn't a friendly call. This is a sales call. Hey, it's really nice talking to you. I appreciate you putting together this time. Just want to let you know. Listen, is it okay if we talk about money right now? And they say, yeah. Well, listen, assuming you love what you hear, the cost is anywhere between $1,000 and $5,000 based on your needs for a few months. Again, assuming you love it, is that something you're comfortable working with right now? And there you go. Oh, I don't really know what you have. I said, of course, but assume you love it. Is that something that you guys can afford right now? If it's a guy, I say, is that something you can afford? If it's a female, I say, is that something that you're comfortable with? I don't know why. That's because I must be a sexist. Right, Osama? That's what it is.
Can I add something to that?
Yeah, please do.
What that sounds like, and Osama did add the country that he's tuning in from in the comments. What it sounds like to me is you believe in bottom line up front. Just give it to them straight. No chaser. Let's get to the business and then build the relationship. Is that how that works?
Well, I think, thank you for asking me a question. You know, you're the best guest ever.
Stop making it about him, Tisha. Stop making it about him.
Yeah, putting the spotlight on me. By the way, the lighting on me, I'll tell you, if you guys are on Amazon, the lights that I'm using are like spotlights that you would put in your car. These Vaughn things, they're awesome. You put in your yard. You put them in your yard, but I use them for like this. I mean, they're great. Lights, everything's so easy. So, your question again, what do I
bottom line up front.
Yeah.
You started with the close, you turn the conversation upside down.
No, I don't know. I mean, that's what we teach, because that's the thing. If you could tell somebody's calling you about your product or service, they really want to find out about it. But in the back of their mind, they're thinking how much. And if that's in their head, they're not hearing anything else you're saying. So you're giving them a gift by releasing the pressure valve, by saying, listen, I know most people that I talk to, they're concerned about the money first. Can we just get that out of the way? You know, and if it's something you can't afford, fine, I'll still talk to you, but at least there won't be that tension. Does that sound good? Yeah. You know, and you know what it's from? It's from, I call it radical honesty. And that's the whole truth. You don't want anything to be in the background. You don't want any fog to be there, you know? And if someone's not there to buy, how did I get in touch with you, by the way?
You created a post on LinkedIn. You were taking advantage of some time that you had at the gas pump. You stopped to do 100 push-ups at the gas station, something to that effect. You're using your energy. And I wrote back something to the effect of, well, I can't promise you 100 push-ups, but I'll do one.
That's right. That's right. So you engaged with me, and I think you may have downloaded the Superhuman Salesperson Handbook. By the way, Chris Stone, we have to put something in there so people can download the Superhuman Salesperson Handbook.
You mean something like that?
Oh my gosh, yeah. So
yeah.
Yeah. So so you downloaded that, and when you did that, so I created this thing, which is awesome. Everybody needs to get it. I created this thing, but when you filled it out to get it, I got your telephone number. And so what self-respecting salesperson, when given a telephone number, is not going to pick up the dang thing and call? And if you're in Turkey, like Usama over there, I bet he has an email, and I'm going to send him a video email. So I'm talking to him anyway, and all for the purpose of setting up a 15-minute dialogue. And from there, you know what happens? You get on the podcast.
Look at that.
That's
well, you make a friend also. So from my perspective, and this goes along with Mish's question, if I'm able to answer that right now.
Please.
So from my perspective, the engagement led to bringing LinkedIn or social media to real life. It resulted in an amazing conversation, a telephone conversation. We transferred that energy to one another. You invited me to be a guest on this incredible platform. You're the first one to speak to me about Amazon Live. I hadn't known about it too much before you, only little bits and pieces, but you're the first one to shed real insight. And in turn, I invite you to my show and open up those doors to one another. So may I answer Mish's question?
No. Of
Wonderful.
course you can.
She says, how do I find out if someone is aligned with me and my ambitions? I'm about to take y'all to church for a second. I imagine a lot of people have a spirit of discernment. You know, if I have an idea of what I am sending out in the world, because my intentions, my strategies, my affirmations, they are seeking someone who I want to attract to my business, to my funnel, to my network, to my community. And I can promise you, there have been a handful of times when I must have sent out something and signals got crossed or wires got crossed. And the person who came to me was willing to do business. They had ambitions, but I could not take their money. I could not be their cheerleader. I don't leave that person hanging. That's why you build a network of people doing similar things that you do. So I could easily say, you know what? This doesn't sound like something you and I can work on together, but let me give you this contact information. I will place you warmly in the hands of my friend so-and-so, and you can do great things together. The reality is that person and I could not have done great things together, and I don't spend a lot of time in those spaces.
Yes, I'm gonna add to that. I think that's terrific. But I would put that question back up if you would, Christone. How do you find out if someone's aligned with you and your ambitions? The question should be flipped around. They don't care about when I talk to someone, I'm not saying, is this person aligned with my ambitions? I'm saying I'm looking to them, seeing, am I aligned with her? Can I do business with her? Is this, it's my thing. I get to do that. Don't worry about, you can't change anybody else. You can only change yourself. Always flip it around. You got to be thinking about them and not you. It's the same thing that you were saying. Can I help them? Can I help them? Can I help you? And you almost got to say it in between each phone call or each conversation, because you very quickly switch around. I'm a little different though. I have a lot of friends. But I've always found very few Christone's a real friend. I could say anything. Christone could say anything to me. I could say anything. Everything's fine. But I think it's a lot easier to make a friend out of a customer than it is to make a customer out of a friend.
Say that again.
What do you think?
I read you loud and clear. So
okay.
I used to be in law enforcement. We would say 10-4, good buddy. I read you loud and clear on that.
Okay.
And you know what? It's okay. I have long story short, I thought family and friends and fans would be banging down my door when I launched my business in January 2015. That did not happen. I thought that people would be lined up to connect with me on social media when I turned open those social media faucets in 2015. It did not happen. It took me a very long time to understand the what's in it for them kind of concept. So I can say that most of my customers are not my friends, but have become.
Right. Go on. I say, hey, Basil, what's going on? He goes, hey, Dad, it's been a long time. And I go, is this Basil from DC Dial? He goes, what's DC Dial? I go, I called the wrong Basil. And I said, not the wrong Basil. I called a different Basil. Who was it? And so, but this guy I had done business with, and we're much friendlier. It was much less uncomfortable making a mistake and calling him than it would be like a close friend, you don't even remember. So you definitely make friends out of customers. Keep it going. So what types of businesses are you cheerleaders for? Are these like home services businesses or internet businesses or Amazon live streaming businesses? What are you a cheerleader for?
I got to tell you, first and foremost, I must be putting out something in there, out in this universe that makes me attract healthcare providers. So individuals, often nurses, male and female, who want to go into nurse consulting, who are opening nonprofit organizations for healthcare. That is first and foremost. That's the repeat
really
customer. Yes, nonprofit executives who love that space, but want to create a brand for themselves because now they are wildly popular themselves because of the great work they've done in their community. Individuals who want to be emerging speakers are oftentimes who are coming to me for storytelling and performance coaching, for business consultation advice as they develop and grow their speaking platforms or their writing platforms. So I have a lot of love for authors. So oftentimes people have written a book or are writing a book and want some help releasing that into this great space.
Do you have any books?
Oh, I do.
Are they on Amazon?
It is on Amazon.
Oh, really? Look at that.
That's it.
Yeah, you see, we don't mess around here. DJ
Yeah,
Live.
there's lots of comments that we haven't gotten to because Dan's been talking too much as usual. But there's lots of comments, and I believe it is Mary who's wanting to know about the book here and what the motivation behind the book was for you, Tisha.
Absolutely. Thank you. And thank you, Mary, for asking. So the book is Daily Devotional for Entrepreneurs, Your Season to Grow. That really sprang out of an inner conflict that I and many other people in my circle were having. And that is where people of faith were feeling conflicted about making money in their business, about having a for-profit business. So after learning some really expansive mindset and mind shifting from Dr. Dennis Kimbrough, who you see here on the screen, he wrote Think and Grow Rich, a Black Choice with the Napoleon Hill Foundation. After hearing him speak and receiving his mentoring and his writing mentoring, it became clear to me that I needed to share the solution for faith-based, profit-first entrepreneurship mind shifting. So I created a guide based on one season of the year that you can repeat season from season. It includes affirmations, scripture. It includes prayers specific to business owners. It includes a daily growth prompt for your business. So if you do these things every day, your business is going to grow. Your brand is going to grow. People are going to see you as the authority in what you do. And it has been it's sold very well, and we're very happy to have it in the book collection. There is a sequel coming to it next year.
And Tisha, you made it 50% off just for the viewers and listeners of Dan Jordan Live today. I can't. How did you do that? What an amazing giver you are today. It's almost like you had planned it.
It's all about the gift. It's all about.
That's right.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you are a much nicer person than me. Someone asked me, why did you write a book? To get popular. That's what I wanted to do. That's all I want to do. But you're right. People have a hard time asking for money, and it's not that they don't value themselves. It's the awkwardness of thinking that it's a weird thing in life. People think about themselves more than anything else. That's just natural. You're not bad if you do it. You wake up in the morning, you don't think about brushing somebody else's teeth. I mean, you wake up in the morning and you think about yourself. That's what you do. Yet you care. So you care about yourself more than anything. But you care what other people think about you more than you care what you think about yourself, which is a weird thing. I don't know why people do that. But as soon as you can get over that, then the world is filled with affluence, and then it's just all over there, and it's there for the taking. If someone says how much, you already made the sale. It means they believe in your value. And so you just got to get to that point. And I think that's what you do. You have conversations all day long with people who eventually will come around to, can you help me and how much? And everybody can do that. That's a wonderful lesson, a lesson to learn. So really it is that. So why do you think is that healthcare people, nurses are attracted to you? Do you have some sort of empathy module?
I would say that could be a reason. I really think it's because of word of mouth, though. My first client was a nurse, and I really think she went gangbusters on telling people. And that word of mouth referral has made her a stellar customer. She can get almost anything she wants from me. She has just been such a great addition to my business family and community, and certainly gave me a lot of confidence to sometimes go out and seek healthcare professionals to be a blessing to. So two-way street, it's marketing, it's the customers being ambassadors for you. I think that people genuinely see that I care when I'm in conversation with them. Oftentimes before a consultation, I'm going to ask you, can we pray? it's a part of my business model. And people who are attracted to my company have an understanding that no matter what your faith is, we can still pray. You pray how you pray, I'll pray how I pray. But to me, that's like sharing a meal. I won't share a meal with someone unless I really enjoy being around that person. It's not just for fun. It means something to me to say a prayer with someone, to share a meal with someone. And every day on my calendar, can I tell you the 3 things that I have on my calendar among everything else?
Are you asking my permission? Go ahead.
Make a friend, be a friend, share a meal every day, Saturday and Sunday included, because I do work on those days as well. And that has.
Yeah, because days are really just a social construct. Who knows? I work on every day that ends with a Y. So when I have those prayers too that I ask. One of them is I pray to meet 10 people today that I can help, and I pray to meet 10 people today that can help me. And it's just. You find yourself talking to more people when you do it that way. And this type of prayer stuff that you do, and the type of really what you're just showing is you're showing your soul. You're giving people your soul, not just your knowledge. And that's very attractive. People are very comfortable with that. And it affords you to make really terrible mistakes and still be able to overcome them.
That's called grace, right?
Yes.
So the customer gives you grace sometimes if you're imperfect. And I'm imperfect.
Right. And that's payment in itself. If you get somebody, so check this out, Christone. So my son has a business. We're a very kind of entrepreneurial family, and so Matthew has a little junk removal business. It's really cool that he does it. So he started this up again in a different place and all that. So we printed up a bunch of cards and we're passing them out, and we're just not getting the calls that we kind of expect with this whole thing. And I'm like, man, you got to believe. And so finally, I get a call from my friend today. This is after about a month. Apparently, his dyslexic father put the wrong telephone number on the business cards. And so you're wondering why we didn't get any calls. And so not only do you not get business, but like people are angry with you. How come nobody answers this rotten place and all this? And so this is just, when you go into business for yourself, there's a million things that are going to go wrong that you can't even imagine. Potential spam. By the way, when I get potential spam, if I wasn't on this call, I would answer it because that's like a free call. I didn't have to make the cold call, and they called me.
That's one of the people in your 10.
Yeah, that could be someone I could help. This is my line, by the way, for all of you that get annoyed. Patrick Tinney for getting cold calls. Patrick Tinney's a new fan of yours, by the way. I always say,
so Tisha, we've got it while Dan answers his spam. We've got a question here over on Amazon we want to get to from Mary. Please share the importance of mentioning others' names in the rooms of opportunities.
Yeah, so mentioning others' names in rooms full of opportunities is one of my big go-tos. If you've heard me along the way mention people's names, and I do that because my very first mentor in business, her name is Tanya Hill. She used to speak me up in places where I would have never gone. So she's meeting at board meetings, she's meeting for magazine interviews, and she's saying my name. And when she gets out of those places, she said, Tisha, they're expecting your call. You need to call them today. You need to make contact today. And things like that led me to become board president of Nabo Excel here in Detroit, where we mentor young girl entrepreneurs. It led me to become president of the Society for the Reinstitutionalization of Storytelling. It led me to sit as an officer on Career Master magazine because someone took 3 seconds to say the name Tisha Hammond and then placed me warmly in their hands. When she did it for me, I just made that vow that I'm gonna make somebody get chills and goosebumps one day because I'm gonna mention their names on a large platform where they get opportunities like I've had, or opportunities that they can be attracted to, like Mary Wells. That's why she's the captain of the Global Pep Squad. Like Usama, he's on every time I have something, he shows up. Why would I not mention his name?
Usama, you got to go to work. What are you doing? What are you hanging around all day? What do you?
We do have a great time difference, so thank you for being here. But like Carl Watkins, exactly.
Yeah, Carl had a great comment here. I'd love to be able to get your thoughts on this. Always be proud of stating your price because it's a representation of you and what you bring. If you don't believe what you're worth and what you say, then neither will they.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Took a long
huge.
time
I mean,
to learn
that's
that lesson. Yeah, it's.
I'm confused. How do you come up with, while she's stuck a little bit there, how do you come up with that price of what you're worth?
Say it again.
How do you decide what is that price that you're worth?
Okay. When I first, can I give you a story of when I
Yeah, you're a storyteller. Give me a story. I've been waiting all day for a story.
2015, I jump on to LinkedIn feet first. Very determined to become addicted to LinkedIn for several years after that, grow this massive community of very engaged people. One of the first people to really make a true connection with me, to have that phone call off of social media, was Bob Dickerson at the Birmingham Business Resource Center in Alabama, which has a very strong entrepreneurship district. And he is all in the midst of that in his community. He invited me to his annual AG Gaston Economic Empowerment Conference. And there I was going to be a facilitator, a moderator of some sort, be on the program as an introduction to the Birmingham community. My background is a civil rights advocate, so Birmingham has some special meaning to me outside of entrepreneurship. He brought me there. He introduced me to bank executives, to mayors, to people who had far flown above the station in life that I was in. And he made me feel like I was no different than them. And I did not charge anything for my presence or my time. I did have enough sense to write up a contract that covered basic things like transportation and meals and things like that. However, I didn't charge a cost for my presence to be there. And at the end of that, he handed me a check that I was not expecting. His check and those digits helped me to begin evaluating my fees, my fee structure, my contracts that would come after that. But I didn't naturally know how to do that before that happened. Now, my financial planner had given me his thing to do. He said, look, for 59 minutes, I charge so-and-so. And it was a 4-digit number. And I thought that was pretty cool. So that was also, another thing that I could use. But it took a long time before I could actually just come out and say the price. And now I know I say the price and I say something else after that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I went to a course once where somebody would, the first thing you had to do is stand up and say, for that hour-long keynote speech, the price is $10,000. And you had to say it without vomiting, which is very difficult. You wouldn't believe how people's face contorts and just bends out of shape because they don't believe it inside. But if you say anything 100 times, all of a sudden you believe it. That's why I have my little mantra. I lead, not follow. I believe, not doubt. I create, not destroy. I make the news. I don't watch the news. I'm a leader. I'm a force for good, force for God. Set the standard, defy the odds. I stand up. I take charge. I win. And then I walk in like an animal. But
you say anchoring.
Yes, good. Tell us about anchoring.
Anchoring, yes.
What does that mean?
Anchoring is when you set those intentions, when you have a positive experience, say before you're going onto a stage to speak to a crowd of people, when you want this certain experience and this positivity to exude out of you, you anchor yourself either with that kind of saying or mantra or with like a physical response, a physical reaction. So just before I came in here like this, I was doing this because this is my sign, like, oh, it's about to go down right now. And then I do this. Something about this makes me be like, oh, I'm about to perform very well, y'all.
Yeah.
Those things are called anchors. And I just learned that on Monday in a entrepreneurship certification class with the National Entrepreneur Association.
Well, so, what National Entrepreneur Association, what is that?
The National Entrepreneur Association is led by Dr. Zelanya Allen, We are based in Southfield, Michigan, but we are open to entrepreneurs around the country. And so earlier this year, I had an opportunity to participate in a virtual pitch competition that was sponsored by National Entrepreneurs Association, Dell Technologies, and Comerica Bank. I won the audience vote. Many of the people that are here now supporting me in this conversation were there voting for me. And out of that, that parlayed into a membership with the NEA, which will parlay into a lifetime of support for me because they've invested in me now. And I, as a servant leader, I give more than I take. It's just what I do.
I like that you say parlay. You don't have to get parlay very often. Hey, parlay, but this pitch, what did you pitch?
So I pitched the Lights, Camera, Action Masterclass, which is a part of my Access Pass Media Group. So my company is a marketing and a media group. We are moving more often into the media production and distribution space. That masterclass is a 4-week class for emerging speakers, for people who want to be seen as storytellers or performers, whether that's visual, oral, musical, written. We all have a story to tell. We tell it in different genres, and I want to help pull that out of people. Y'all are amazing with the quick work here.
That's Chris Stone. He's unbelievable. I tell every show, I always have to say, everybody needs a Chris Stone. Yeah, it is. So you pitched that, and that was the audience favorite, and that's your company as well.
Yeah.
All right. So who needs to? If I hear, what do I need to hear to know that I could send somebody your way?
You want to hear from people who are looking to get their story developed. They know they would like to become a speaker. They would like to become a writer. They want to blog. They want to create a book, whatever the platform is, but they need some help developing it and then performing it. So we create that platform for storyline development. We give you the space to perform it and practice it in. And then we give you the photography, the video work, the glam squad to market it. And then we want to be the ones who will help you distribute it through our very impressive press release distribution cycle.
Oh, so you could even make me look better?
You look great. I can help.
You see that? That's good stuff right there.
You look great already. There's always room for help though, right?
That's good stuff. Oh yeah, always room for that's good. Gosh. Yeah, my I needed that because I thank goodness I have a terrific wife who never misses an opportunity to tell me where I'm falling short, which is really good. What happened is our leaves are falling down now. Leaves are falling, right? And so they get stuck on your foot, right? And so there's a leaf or two in the house. And then the cat goes bananas because he's playing with the leaf all over the place. And I get blamed. Like all of a sudden, I'm the man who's supposed to prevent every leaf from coming into the house. You
There's
always
more than
do
one
that.
leaf coming in the house on our shoes.
Yes, I know. We got the leaf. So what's this? Do you have like a stable story that you tell? If I were to hit you up and I say, hey, tell us a story. Do you got one like in the works? Do you have a...
that's what I do.
You have some in your pocket right away?
That's what I call it. Always have a story in your back pocket. So yes, I have tons of stories, and they're real life stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not going to exaggerate or say things that didn't happen. I want you to learn my truth. I'm pretty vulnerable that way, and that seems to attract people as well. I could tell you stories of my youth. I could tell you tragic stories. I could tell you triumphant stories, and they all make up who I am. I don't have a regret. I wish things would have happened differently at some points in my life, but I'm happy to tell the things that have happened. Now, Dan, I got to say this. I spent 21 years in federal law enforcement, and there are some stories about that career that I cannot share when it comes to protecting our borders at here and abroad. But, some things I got to take to my grave. But the stories I can tell are pretty fascinating about that career.
Ooh, I like that little mystery action you throw in there. Yeah, that's very good. So, what else do you have in your back pocket? You have jokes in your back pocket? No, but all your stories.
I have bad jokes.
You have bad jokes? Oh, listen, you don't know from bad jokes until you've met me. Hey, it's Chris Stone. I'm working on one. What do you think of this? Ready? So this Roman walks into a bar, holds up his two fingers and says, "I'll have 5 beers." No?
Stop.
Roman?
I get that.
No? Come on.
Roman numeral jokes
Okay,
those are very specific. Those are super. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you a 3 out of 10.
Okay. I'm trying to. I saw something on LinkedIn the other day, which I thought was great, and I haven't been able to make it into anything funny. But it's just ironic, that. And this is how I come up with stories. And I don't know if you do this too, but I'll just see something that's something ironic. But like, how everything tastes like chicken? Yeah. Ironically,
most everything.
Ironically, eggs are not one of them. Like, eggs do not taste like chicken. So it's I can't put it into a joke, but I would make a story around that.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if that's like the story with what came first, the chicken or the egg.
Mm-hmm.
I know exactly what it is. It's the egg, because if you go into McDonald's in the morning, you can get an egg McMuffin, but you can't get the chicken sandwich. But that changed. Now they serve it all day. Screwed up my joke. I used to tell that in high school.
So we've got the pep talk live. There's some questions here that we're getting about pep talk here on YouTube. And can we talk a little bit about pep talk live, Tisha, and what that's about?
Yeah, Pep Talk Live is the platform where we elevate the conversation around entrepreneurship. It is a show that I do in partnership with Dell Technologies, Career Mastered Magazine, Dark Matter Cosmetics, Digital Samurai Studio, plenty of support for that show. And in that show, we have one theme, and that is to discuss the growing joys and growing pains of entrepreneurship and to celebrate the wins of every size for the guest star. Here, this is yesterday's episode, and you'll see me holding up one of our upcoming giveaways. That's from Kidney Trails. This is a shirt that was given to the show by Anthony Reed and Dwellin Williams. You see them here watching. And it's just a great way to share stories and insights to let entrepreneurs out there in the world know that you're not alone. Someone has gone through something similar to what you're going through right now. We're going to discuss the insights that help them go through their peaks, plateaus, and valleys of entrepreneurship. And let's do our best to support the guest and the audience as we just travel this way of life that we've been called to, or that we decided to jump into, which is entrepreneurship. And it's been a blessing. We are nearing our 200th episode. And I gotta say, the first episode was Precious L. Williams, and that lit a fire under the community that watches it. They are now called the Global Pep Squad. And when we get someone from a new country, we pin their country back there on the Global Pep Squad vision map.
Oh, you got to put my country in there.
Where is it?
Dejalot. Yeah, Dejalot. I created my own country.
I thought it was going to be Kazakhstan.
Where's it near? Like, where do I put the pin
near Atlanta? It's
near Atlanta. Okay.
But there just simply is not a more congenial spot for happily ever aftering than here in Dejalot. All right. Thank you very much. How do people get a hold of you?
Yes, I would love for people to step up and speak with me at calendly.com/Tisha Hammond. If you want the majority of my contact information and my sites, please visit me at Linktree/Tisha Hammond. And those are great starting points. If you want to vibe with me on social media, you got to meet me on LinkedIn. And who knows, one day I might be showing up on Amazon Live myself.
Yeah, we need to stick around after we get done here so I could talk to you a little bit. But this has been actually really enlightening, and I'm so pleased that you came. I'm so pleased that I'm meeting you and your rabid fans. You have that kind of quality that attracts people to you. And then the next step is to get paid, and you're teaching people how to do that. And you're really advancing the world is better for you being here and sharing these things than without. So I really appreciate that. And for all you out there who are in sales or considering entrepreneurship and just get out and do it. Remember, the definition of having a business is when you get your first customer. And as soon as that happens, and kids can feel it, as soon as you get that first dollar that someone says, I like your painting, I'll give you $5 for it. That thing just sets off a spark that has built countries, built nations, and built the world. You started with nothing but an idea, and you found somebody who was interested in an idea, and they placed value on it. That's the best gift you can give the world, by giving your value out there and being compensated for it. It makes the giver feel good because they know they got something of value, and it makes the getter feel good because they know they've given that value. I think you guys are awesome. I wish nothing but good things to happen to you all for the rest of your lives. Eat well, live long, and prosper. Go get them today, will you?